Recently, I picked up a new pair of bookshelf speakers. Those are the MB Quart Domain 30s, the speakers that are sitting right here. And the question I have is, are these going to replace my Angstrom audio speakers and become new endgame level speakers for my home theater? Well, quick answer, no, they're not. But that does not mean that these are not good speakers. And so here today, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about these MB Quart Domain 30 bookshelf speakers that I have, and tell you a few of the things I like about them, a few of the things I think could be better, and ultimately what I think these speakers would excel at and what I may potentially do with them, even though they're probably not endgame level speakers for me in my home theater. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So let's get right into the video. A common theme through a lot of my YouTube videos, at least in my opinion, is that I like to be somebody who is a little bit out of the ordinary and kind of goes for the non-traditional kind of norms of home theater, at least for modern home theaters. And these speakers kind of fall into that idea of being a speaker and a brand of speaker that you don't really see really at all here on YouTube, and they're very few and far between to find kind of online on secondhand markets. You might see a couple of these floating around eBay or a local Facebook listing, on Marketplace or something, but they don't come up very often. These are MB Quart Domain 30 speakers. And like I said, these are kind of hard to find, kind of rare to find modernly. And that's for a somewhat of a good reason I'll get to in a minute. But anyways, I picked these speakers up right here off of Facebook Marketplace for $40. And for the $40, I think they're actually a pretty good bookshelf speaker. They have their positives, they have their drawbacks a little bit. I wouldn't say they're complete negatives, but they have a few drawbacks. And they do excel in a certain situation that I'm going to talk about. And that situation may be kind of what I use these for going forward. So first, just a little brief information about MB Quart. And I am no expert on this. So if you definitely have some information more about MB Quart, feel free to put a comment down below and let me know about it. I'd love to hear more input about the company and these speakers if someone out there has more info. But from doing just a brief kind of look around the internet after I purchased these, MB Quart is a company that doesn't really make speakers like this anymore. They did it one time back in like the 80s and into the 90s and that kind of time frame, which is when these speakers are from. These are probably from the late 80s, early 90s. I don't have an actual manufacture date that I could find for any of these speakers, but they're probably somewhere in the realm of the late 80s, mid to late 80s and into the early 90s, somewhere in that time frame. Anyways, MB Quart modernly does not make speakers like this because the company kind of broke apart and restructured at least once, maybe multiple times throughout the last, 20, 30 years, modernly. And nowadays, if you search MB Quart, you're probably going to see car audio speakers. And a lot of people, when you look online who talk about MB Quart, talk about car audio. So that's kind of what they've transitioned to over the last few decades. But back in the 80s and 90s, they made home theater speakers. And the reason you don't see a lot of these, at least in my opinion, around nowadays is not only the scarcity because they are older speakers and the company doesn't make speakers like this anymore, but also the way these speakers were made. So these speakers here are made in America. These were made in the USA back in, like I said, the 1980s, maybe early 90s, whatever the time frame is. But the parts, the components that make up these speakers are primarily from Germany because MB Quart originally, and I think still nowadays, even after they've restructured, but definitely back in the 80s and early 90s, was a German company. So these were initially marketed and made under a different name in Germany, and then they were kind of rebranded as home theater speakers and audio speakers here in America under the Domain line of speakers. And there's multiple, speakers in that line. But that's kind of why they're hard to find, is because these are technically German speakers that have been kind of retooled to be American home audio, hi-fi audio speakers, here in America. So that's kind of why it's hard to find these out in the marketplace. Now, the way these speakers are set up, these are a standard two-way speaker, and they're built just out of regular, I believe this is like MDF kind of board here. They're pretty solid. You know, if you knock on them, you can feel they're solid. They weigh, I think these weigh somewhere like 10 to 15 pounds, somewhere in that kind of range. But these are pretty high quality speakers for what they are. Now, the way these speakers are set up, these are two-way speakers. So they're just basic two-way bookshelf speakers. They are pretty solid, as I said. You can definitely hear that these are pretty solid. They weigh at least 10 pounds, maybe a little more than that. So they're pretty solid speakers. And what is kind of neat are these grills, because these grills are detachable, obviously. They are just like MDF pieces of wood. What they have, you can kind of see maybe with the light, they have just a mesh screen that's on the actual grill cover here, which is kind of neat. So when you put it in there, it's just a mesh screen, so you don't get a lot of interference, you know, with the actual drivers. One thing you will notice though, especially if you're buying these used, you know, here today in 2025 and beyond, these grill covers have just like a kind of faux wood wrap on them. So you can probably see here, the wrap is starting to come off. And when you look at a lot of these speakers, for the handful I found online, a lot of them have this same issue of the wrap kind of warping and coming off the actual grill cover. And so like this is pretty prominent on this speaker here, but it's also a little bit on this speaker as well. So it is something you're gonna run into. But this grill cover and everything is pretty nice outside of the, you know, the actual wrap kind of falling off, which just seems to be a common issue. Now, like I said, these are two-way speakers. So they are front ported. You can see there's a port up here. So you could theoretically push these all the way up against a wall. You don't have to really separate them for the port in the back because they're ported in the front. These have a 6-inch, approximately 6-inch woofer and an approximate 1-inch tweeter up on the top. Now I say approximate because since these were built originally with German parts in Germany, it's done on the metric system. So it's like a 160 millimeter woofer on here and like a 19 or 20 inch tweeter, you know, up here on the top. So when you convert it to like, you know, inches for, you know, the Imperial American system, you're looking approximately 6 inches. I think it's a little over 6 inches, and right around maybe like slightly a tick under 1 inch on the tweeter. But yeah, so that's what you have here. On the back, as I rotate this around, you have just your standard binding posts that are on here. They're pretty high quality. Both of these came with the binding posts intact. They're not broken. They have a pretty good secure connection if you use banana plugs on there, which is typically how I hook up all my speakers. So these are, like I said, a pretty well constructed, solid kind of speaker here. So that is kind of the basis for the construction. I will also mention, because it has a tag on the back, these are 125 watts max power handling, and they are 6 ohm speakers. So nothing too crazy there as well. So these are, like I said, pretty well constructed speakers. They have some pretty decent, you know, components and stuff in here, in my opinion. Now, like I said in the intro, these are not endgame level speakers for me. I thought potentially they could be, but they're really not. And it comes down to one major factor that these speakers are lacking compared to my Angstrom audio speakers, at least for home theater and what I'm doing here in my home theater. So these speakers are really good in bass reproduction. These produce solid bass, and it's not bloated, it's not overly boomy, it's not overpowering. It's just solid, just, you know, defined bass that comes out of these speakers. And probably some of the best bass reproduction I've heard on a bookshelf speaker through all the different bookshelf speakers I have owned in the last, you know, 10, 15 years since I've had this home theater here. These are probably the best bass reproduction, you know, I've heard in a standard kind of bookshelf speaker. Now with that, it doesn't dig super deep. You're not getting down to like 20 hertz or something, or 15 hertz or something crazy with that. These probably drop down somewhere like 30, 40 hertz maybe, give or take. I don't fully know what the actual specs are on these because, to be completely honest, it's very hard to find specs on these speakers. I couldn't find a manual, I couldn't find a spec sheet. Really all the info I could find was an old forum post from like 15 years ago of somebody who's talking about these speakers and their kind of estimations of stuff. But other than that, there's no real info. But I would imagine, kind of, just from listening to content, these kind of hit just around 40 hertz, give or take on there, which is probably pretty solid, in my opinion, for a standard two-way bookshelf speaker. And that's really where these excel, is in the bass and kind of the lower mid-range kind of reproduction. Where these struggle slightly is in the upper mid-range and into the higher end of the audio spectrum, because this tweeter, while it's not bad, it does lack mid-range detail and kind of the upper range detail that you get with some other speakers, namely, like for me, my Angstrom audio speakers. And that really is the big reason why these are not endgame speakers, and why at the end of the day they're not going to be here in my home theater, is because they are lacking in the mid-range and in kind of the upper registers of the audio kind of field. Now, for what I'm trying to accomplish here in my home theater, the main kind of focus is surround sound mixes, and surround sound audio and home theater experience, not music reproduction or two-channel audio, really. And so for that reason, the Angstrom Audio Sonata speakers I have are actually much better suited for that, in my opinion, and just to my ears and here in my space. These speakers, because of their really good bass reproduction and adequate enough, mid-range and upper kind of level reproduction, it's not the greatest, but it's good enough. These speakers would excel in a two-channel audio setup. That includes not only two-channel music, standard stereo music, but these also work surprisingly well, and probably better than my Angstrom audio speakers, in two-channel audio mixes for movies. So in my kind of demoing kind of phase, in my auditioning phase after I bought these, I not only listened to music, I not only listened to standard surround sound audio formats from different films and TV shows, but I also made it a point to listen to a couple two-channel audio surround sound tracks, like a Jaws, which is like a two-channel mono mix, Star Wars, a couple of the original Halloween movies, I believe, like Halloween 1, 2, and 3 on the Blu-rays I have a standard two-channel audio mix, and a few other things thrown in there. And these speakers here really excel at the two-channel listening kind of setup. So that's for music, and that's also for two-channel surround sound, or two-channel audio tracks, I should say, not really surround sound. But these really excel at that. So even though they don't really fit fully for what I'm wanting to do and accomplish here in my home theater, these are really good at two-channel audio. And that leads me to really what I may potentially do with these speakers going forward. So one of the things I have wanted to do for a number of years, actually before I even started this channel, but even more so after starting the channel here and getting even more kind of involved in the home theater side of things on YouTube and just the home theater kind of culture online, being a content creator, something I've wanted to do for a long time is what I call the backyard drive-in, which is more or less just a fancy way of saying an outdoor movie night. I really want to do something like that, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of doing that later this year, maybe in October for mine and my wife's birthday, or maybe around Halloween or something like that. And so I have wanted to run this outdoor drive-in, backyard drive-in, outdoor movie night kind of thing for a while. And what I would do in that setup is, obviously you would have your projector screen and projector and all that sort of stuff. But on the audio side, I would only run two-channel. I'm not going to run surround sound out in my backyard or in my side yard or somewhere on my property. Just too much wiring and too much complication. So I would just run a two-channel setup. And these speakers right here would, in my opinion, really excel in that. In putting these just to the left and right of whatever projector screen I would have for that setup, these I think would do really well, because it would give you solid mid-range and stuff to get by. But really the bass would be there, where a lot of other speakers you'd be lacking in the low end without a subwoofer or without like some big towers. And that's another point. Even though these are fairly big bookshelf speakers, these are probably like on the upper mid-level kind of sizing for bookshelf speakers. These are about 12.5 inches tall. They're about 9 inches wide and about about 10.5 inches deep. But these are easier to move around than a big tower speaker, or some people who do the outdoor movies, they get like big Bluetooth speakers. These are much easier to transport and move around, even with, you know, some speaker stands like this. And for me, that may be where these end up, is in kind of a usage for the outdoor movie night, the backyard driving kind of thing that I've been toying with for the last couple years. So that ultimately is where I think these will excel and where these may end up for me. But at the end of the day, they're not endgame level speakers for me here in my home theater. I think my Angstrom audio speakers for the time being are still going to be my left and right speakers here in my home theater. So with that, we are at the end of the video here today. I want to say thank you to everybody who's followed me here on YouTube and kept up with my content. I really do appreciate it. Definitely consider liking and subscribing to the channel if you aren't, you know, just because it does help me out. And hopefully you will enjoy the rest of my content, back catalog, and future stuff that I have going on here. Also consider leaving a comment down below. Not only, like I said earlier, if you have more info on the MB Quart series, you know, company of speakers, because there isn't a lot of info out there to find on them, but also leave me a comment if you're somebody who enjoys or has done the kind of backyard movie night, backyard drive-in kind of setup, you know, and what you kind of use for that. Because that is something I may be interested in maybe doing here in the future in the next month or two. If things, you know, potentially work out the right way, I might be able to do it. So thank you guys. I appreciate everything. I'm done talking for today, and I will see you the next time in the next video right here on Secondhand Home Theater. I'll see you then. Thank you.